Keith Thurman is not that great of a boxer. Is he strong?
Yes.
Yes. But what else? Now, would I get in the ring and try to go blow Keith Thurman? No, I'm not a dummy. But I'm bigger than Keith Thurman. I'm a woman, but I'm bigger.
I mean, aggressively. That's one of his greatest trademarks, one of his greatest weapons and dimensions. He wears you down. And he was wearing Thurman down. He fights that kind of pressure fight and still maintains length and height without giving it up. That's extraordinary.
Claressa Shields said, I've never been beat like that by anybody in my life. I've never had that happen. Claressa, stop. You've never fought anybody like Sebastian Fundora with that type of advantage on you in your life. You've never done that.
Anticipation on a terrific fight, highly anticipated fight. They just wake up to some new boxing drama. And I walked the little red carpet to go to the fight. And the last person on that red carpet brought up Claressa Shields. Are you aware, Keith Thurman, that Claressa Shields called you out this morning? And I said, yeah, I'm aware. My boy texted me in the morning about this, about her comment. So I found it from a third party. Like, I'm aware of it. And then, wow, what's your response? You don't ask Keith Thurman for a
ring one time in a couple years, 2 times in a few years. He's moving up to a weight class. He's in a weight class where Sebastian Fundora is the most dangerous guy in the weight class. He's 36, 37 years old. Sebastian Fundora is in his late 20s, mid to late 20s. This is if you know anything about the sport of boxing, this is designed pretty much for Sebastian Fundora to get Keith Thurman's name on his resume. And Keith Thurman is not stupid enough not to know that, but yet he was brave enough and he was risking it enough, willing to risk it enough to get in the ring with that kid. And a lot of people would not do that. You're gonna see that. When people start trying to unify, you're gonna see what a dangerous person Sebastian Fundora is, specifically for a guy.
May be bored in boxing, in women's boxing, but Claressa Shields, on numerous occasions, has now decided that it's okay. She's so comfortable that it's okay to disrespect her male counterparts. She's 18 wins, no loss, no draw, 3 wins by way of knockout. Claressa Shields has been dropped in her career by Hannah Gabriels. In the past, she stated that she could beat former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. She also stated that she can beat.
Claressa Shields just torched Call-Out Thurman after his brutal loss to Romero, and what she said is absolutely wild. She claimed she's a better boxer than him and that she could handle what he couldn't.
Also made the ridiculous statement that she could compete with Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Now Claressa Shields takes to social media to clown Keith one-time Thurman after he got battered and brutally beaten yesterday. To his record is now 31 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 23 wins by way of knockout. He has more knockouts than Claressa Shields has fights. He took on the Towering Inferno, a cheat code. The former unified WBO, WBC, junior middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Sebastian Fundora, who is now 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 16 wins by way of knockout. Sebastian Fundora is 28 years old, stands at 6'6".
Right after Thurman got stopped, Shields went straight to Twitter. Keith got beat so bad the ref had to save him, she posted. Say what you want, I ain't never got my asterisk kicked like that, especially in a world title fight.
You can do. Look, you had Fundora came with a game plan and he knew you very well. Oh, he knew. Shit, he knew you, before you attack, you kind of like, your feet shuffle, and then you explode in combinations. All he did was step back out of range. I told y'all that motherfucker been working on the step back game to keep his distance. I told y'all. You know. Shit, did y'all hear him after? What'd he say? Let me put my glasses on so I can see you. I told you that motherfucker can't see. But he can feel. He can feel. He can feel. He poking around. He can feel. Yeah. Shit. Stevie Wonder can see a little bit too. Don't let that motherfucker fool you. Stevie Wonder can see a little bit. Ray Charles, he can see a little bit too. Hell yeah, they can see a little bit. Yeah. Shit, you don't listen to their song.
But here's the thing. This isn't just some random Claressa. Shields has been going after male fighters for months now. She's literally claiming she could beat Keith Thurman, Rolly Romero, even Triple G, and boxing analysts are losing their minds.
Ooh, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough to outposition this dude, because he can set up shot from far away. That motherfucker had 10 inches, 11 inches on this motherfucker, Keith Thurman. 11 inches. Damn. Most men want 1 or 2 more. This motherfucker had 11 inches on this motherfucker, bro. Reach. 11 inches. Crazy. So he can start up and set up shop far away, out at distance. And then when he move in position, you can't even hit him. So when Keith was trying to move to his left, because I told his ass, move to your left, bro. Move to your left. Shit, he cut that damn angle off. All he did was scoot his little ass over. Man, I'm gonna show y'all one day on how he did it. Oh, how he just scooted over and he was right back in front of his ass. 50-50. No, you gonna go this way, champ? No, you going the opposite way.
Now get this. Fanon, a respected boxing analyst, just called Shields delusional and disrespectful. He said her comments are completely over the top, and she's becoming obnoxious with her trash talk about male fighters.
Awful hard to argue strongly against it because he was getting busted up. It was a whitewash. It was one-way traffic. It didn't look like he had answers. He had the right idea, but it wasn't being executed. The idea was to move, use his athleticism, you know, move side to side, keep Fundora moving his feet, switching his stances, and then get in, jump in, move in, close in real quick, and attack when Fundora wasn't ready to punch. It looked like that was the only strategy that made sense. It looked like his people at least had him prepared for a strategy. It's not like we see too many of these guys that they come in as...
Here's where it gets crazy though. Shields has a point about never getting dominated like that. She's 18-0 with 3 knockouts, but here's what she's not telling you. She got dropped by Hannah Gabriels, and she's never faced anyone close to Fundora's size or power.
No, he didn't look awfully great even doing those, and those were a long time ago, and he was already looking susceptible in those 2 fights. He lost to Pacquiao, lost to an older Pacquiao, but also, if you remember the Josito Lopez fight, it really, even though that was a long time ago, it's still a measuring stick, because there's not a lot of measuring sticks to compare Keith with, you know. He just hadn't been that active, you know. So even when in the recent times that he's been going, those extra rounds, those world-class fights at higher level, it already looked like he was fading a little bit. You know, I think the possible believers in Thurman were maybe looking at the fact that Fundora has been hittable, and he still is. Still looked good tonight with the push-pull, which again, that slide back step and setting up punches, he's doing that better and better. He did it in the Tim Tszyu rematch very well. He did it a little bit against Cordell Booker as well. So yeah, I feel like Fundora not only is world-class, but he is improving all the more, and he still keeps the old attributes that he had.
Listen to this. Fundora is 66 with an 80-inch reach. He's a former WBO and WBC champion. This isn't some bum off the street. Yet Shields called him unskilled and claimed she could beat him too. That's when experts started questioning everything. Blue Blood Sports TV went nuclear on Shields. They pointed out the obvious male and female fighters have completely different physical makeup. The host said comparing herself to Thurman or Romero is just delusional thinking. But wait, it gets worse. Tim Bradley broke down exactly why Fundora destroyed Thurman. He had an 11-inch reach advantage and executed a perfect game plan. Bradley said Fundora could scoot over and be right back in front while landing shots from impossible angles. Teddy Atlas called it a one-way street, a whitewash. He said Thurman had a solid strategy but couldn't execute against Fundora's technical superiority. Even with movement and timing, Thurman got completely outclassed. Here's the kicker. Paulie Malignaggi explained that Fundora isn't just tall, he's improving constantly. At 65, in the light middleweight division, he can punch to the body from inside and outside. Plus, he's a southpaw with refined jab combinations. And Thurman, he's 37 years old with years of inactivity. Malignaggi said age and ring rust played a huge role. Even past fights showed Thurman fading against lesser competition. So when he faced a world-class, evolving fighter like Fundora, he had no answers. So here's my question, is Shields just trying to stay relevant by calling out male fighters? Or does she actually believe she could hang with welterweight champions? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening, smash that like button and subscribe for more boxing drama. Hit the notification bell because this beef is just getting started.